Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Arcane Oracle podcast. It's been a busy season, hasn't it? March has been a super active month astrologically as well as literally, as I'm sure we can all agree. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Elaine, the Arcane Oracle, and I am a tarot reader and astrologer with over 20 years of experience. Over the years, I've had the privilege of giving accurate, authentic, and affordable psychic readings to thousands of clients. If you are interested in getting an in-depth, personalized reading with me, please check out my website at elainesarcanetarot.com or send me a text at 765-739-0278. Thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to join me in this space, wherever you are. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to our gracious hosts at the Eye Opener Society. Without further ado, let's explore this exciting, fiery new moon and solar eclipse in Aries happening on Saturday, March 29th, 2025. So, as we begin this new Aries season, the whole world begins a new cycle of growth and renewal around us. This is an exciting time for sure. It's lush, verdant, and bursting with passionate, exuberant energy. That's Aries energy, the first sign of the zodiac and the sign of the springtime equinox. And this new moon in Aries has spring fever energy. We have already had the spring equinox and the commencement of Aries season last week on March 20th. And although it may still be a bit chilly in some parts of the Northern Hemisphere, the dreary days of late winter are now officially behind us for 2025. Hooray! So, some key themes of the new moon in Aries include new beginnings, fresh starts, initiating projects, action, impulsiveness, decisiveness, showing initiative, self-assertion, that includes independence, personal courage, ambition, passion, and vitality. It influences our enthusiasm. It inspires us to be direct in our communications and to show strength and motivation in our actions day-to-day life. And Aries new moon is about courage. It's about facing challenges, taking risks, and being bold. Some fun facts about Aries. Lucky colors for Aries include red, black, and white. Lucky gemstones include diamond, ruby, blue, bloodstone, carnelian, and red jasper. Herbs and incense include ginger, thistle, cinnamon, dragon's blood. And the tarot card, the major arcana tarot card of the Emperor tarot card of Aries is the Emperor. I'm sorry, I misread my notes there. And it signifies sacred masculinity or yang energy. It represents decisive action, leadership, and authority. And this tarot card has the timeline of March 20th through approximately April 20th or Aries season. So anyway, about the new moon eclipse or the solar eclipse, it's important to note that these eclipses happen every year, so please don't fret about it. Eclipses are roughly 6 months apart, so this new moon, it influences the lunar cycle, as all new moons do. It's the beginning of a new period of growth, and that's the same for all new moons. But this one, as all eclipse new moons are, it can have a longer impact window of, about 6 months or so. Depends on your individual birth chart, though, and how significantly or not significantly this new moon solar eclipse hits your individual horoscope. So it's important to note that the last times we had this particular solar eclipse at 8 to 9 degrees of Aries were in March 2006 at 9 degrees of Aries and all the way back in April of 1996 at 8 degrees of Aries. So think back to those years. Did anything significant happen for you then? Do you recognize any recurring patterns of those themes revisiting you now? Because that's astrology in a nutshell. It's events, patterns, and echoes and reverberations of those events and patterns. So, with Venus and Mercury both still retrograde in Aries, it's highly likely that we will be revisited by the ghosts of our pasts with this eclipse. Venus has slipped back into her favorite sign, Pisces, and is now embracing mystical Neptune and the destiny-driven North lunar node. Old friends and past lovers may try to reconnect with you. You might even unexpectedly receive a long yearned for apology or some form of recompense or closure. You might receive some other form of long awaited emotional healing or resolution as well. This Aries new moon and solar eclipse happens close to the fixed star Alganib. Hope I pronounced that right. I've only ever read about this particular area of astrology, so if my pronunciation is incorrect, please forgive my ignorance. Alganib is in the wing of the constellation Pegasus. In ancient astrology, this fixed star reportedly brought mental disturbances, fevers and ill health, some danger of accidents, and dishonor, loss by scandal, exiled or forced to flee, ill health, trouble through writings. Trouble through writings. Yeah. Seems like we might have gotten an early preview of that fixed star's energy in the American news cycle, trouble through writings. So, with this particular new moon, like I said previously, think back to themes and occurrences that happened in the spring times of 2006 and 1996, if you can recall that far back, that is, of course. And also, keep an eye to those subjects, to, the possibility of ill health, accidents with Mercury and Venus both retrograde. Those are both quite cautionary of mishaps, misfortunes, accidents, things that unfortunate events that otherwise could have been avoided through slowing down or being more cautious. That's retrograde energy. So there is a risk of that with this new moon, and also dishonor, loss by scandal, or trouble through writings. So be extra mindful as you send emails, text messages. Make sure that they're going to the right recipients, that you are not hitting reply all if you don't want what you're about to send to be sent all recipients. All of these things are not only dangers of Mercury retrograde, particularly, especially in Aries, where it can be even more irascible, irritable, volatile, more likely to cause conflict or clashing. So, and then, you pair that with this rather close conjunction to the star Alganib. This could be rocky for some of us if we're not careful, if we don't slow down and double check, triple check. All right, so like I said, Mercury is still retrograde and it will backslide into Mercury's least favorite sign. All right, so I said Pisces was Venus, the planet Venus, most favorite sign. Pisces is the least favorite sign of Mercury. In Pisces, Mercury gets cloudy, foggy, muddled, distractible, easily misled or deceived. And that's also Mercury retrograde to to the worst extent. At its worst, Mercury retrograde also holds those features. So, as I'm sure you've noticed in the news cycle, Mercury retrograde season poses some significant communication hazards. So be cautious not to jump to conclusions or overshare in your communications, and slow down when communicating. If you don't rush, you will prevent many silly mistakes and miscommunications. For instance, double check before you reply. Like I said, Mercury and Venus will both turn direct in the second week of April. So on April 7th, Mercury will turn direct, and on April 13th, Venus will turn direct. But until then, slow down, listen and observe, be slow to speak or share information, and keep yourself to yourself whenever you can. So also, With this new moon solar eclipse sky, Mars in Cancer forms a trine with Saturn in Pisces. This creates a harmonious flow of energy that blends emotional drive with disciplined action. This transit facilitates the channeling of emotional energy, so Mars in Cancer, into focused, disciplined action, Saturn in Pisces. It also encourages constructive work related to home, family, and emotional security. This can be a time for emotional healing and building a stable emotional foundation. It allows for the practical application of feelings and intuition. Patience and perseverance are also emphasized, leading to long-term benefits and rewards. This time can also help us to be more productive and finally wrap up tasks that we've been putting off. Saturn helps us organize the emotional energy, powered by Mars in Cancer. We also have Uranus and Taurus, which is sextile Saturn in Pisces, and this will add some oomph and a little sprinkling of good luck, but only if we are willing to practice patience and put in that extra effort. So yeah, channeling that beautiful harmonious energy coming from Taskmaster Saturn and Warrior Mars. That's going to give us a bit more drive and motivation to get things done. And if we take advantage of that, we've got Uranus and Saturn sextiling. And that can offer us some unexpected changes, some strokes of good luck, some opportunities for personal advancement. And finally, on March 30th, we have the true showstopper of March. Neptune shifts into Aries. Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, so Neptune has been in its home sign, Pisces, since 2011, 2012. Okay. Neptune is the planet of dreams, delusion, inspiration, spirituality, mysticism, sacrifice, and escape. So, this is a generational planet. You know, it's one of those far out there planets, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. These planets mark generational shifts. They mark changings of eras. Okay. So, some key themes about Neptune and Aries. It's possibly going to involve worldwide shifting in ideals of self. Okay, so Neptune's influence blurs boundaries. And in Aries, this can affect how we perceive our individual identity and assertiveness. There's potential for a reevaluation of what it means to be self-starting or self-reliant and independent. So this could be unique. You know, we've been seeing the transition into more individualistic thinking, more rugged individualism. And, you know, this could be further doubling down on that in our Western culture, but it could also be taking a more skeptical or more critical look at that. You know, how self-reliant are any of us really in the kind of global community that we built for ourselves? Do we live in a cosmopolitan world? And if so, is rugged individualism really the ideal? Okay. So, another theme could be blending of intuition and action. Okay. So with the last, and I'll go into that a little bit more later, but with the last Neptune and Aries transit, which it was all the way back whenever I don't think humanity was even aware of Neptune's existence yet. We hadn't yet developed the technology to really see and discover Neptune. So I'm not sure about that though. So if you're listening to this and you know that in the 1860s, 1870s, we definitely knew about Neptune, forgive my ignorance. But yeah, the last time Neptune was in Aries was mid 1860s through the mid 1870s. And during that time, we saw the birth of spiritualism, the belief, rather non-denominational, secular belief in a spiritual realm, in a spirit world, that mediums could communicate with spirits of the dead. That ideology of spiritualism was born during that time. So Aries, Neptune shifting into Aries, could see the blending of intuition and action. Aries is all about action, motivation, ambition, and Neptune is about intuition and spirituality. This combination can lead to a surge in inspired action, but also potential confusion, obviously, such as cult mentalities, toxic belief systems, so on and so forth. There may be a need to discern between genuine intuition and spiritual connection and illusionary or self-serving impulses. So that could become a theme going forward into this new era of Neptune and Aries. Evolution of courage. So Neptune idealizes concepts. Therefore, the concept of courage itself, as well as many other of those self-determined individualistic concepts, could be morphed, idealized, or even worse. This time could bring about a change in how humanity expresses ideals of courage and as well as self-reliance. And, it's just important to remember that Neptune moves really slow. And in 2025, Neptune is also going to have its retrograde period. So it's going to shift back into Pisces later this autumn. Okay, so we're going to get a taste of what the era of Neptune and Aries is going to be like over the spring and summer. But Neptune, like Uranus and Pluto, it's not a quick reaction kind of transit. So changes take effect slowly. You see the shape of things to come, like a landmass out in the foggy horizon of the sea. It takes time. So don't expect most of you, I would say, shouldn't expect any, massive shifts in your current circumstances, but you will start to see the shape that things will take both collectively and on an individual level during this year. It'll just be a preview. It's like waiting for a big production movie to come out later. You're going to see the previews of it now. So Neptune can bring illusions and a lack of clarity as well. And in Aries, this might manifest as confusion about personal desires and goals. So we might see a lot of that kind of midlife crisis energy starting to take shape this year. It'll be vital to stay grounded and to practice discernment and not to get swept away into wild idealism or despair during the spring and summer. So Neptune, as I said, will retrograde back into Pisces on October 22nd. So this year is a time of acclimation to this new energy of Neptune and Aries. This period is a time to set intentions regarding how we want to express our individuality and, seize our own destiny, as it were, to pursue our passions. And before we need to get that done, we need to kind of chart our course or at least set our direction before that energy of Neptune and Aries becomes fully set later on in 2026. In essence, 2025 will be a time of feeling out this new Neptunian influence in the fiery sign of Aries. It will be a time of becoming familiar with the new energetic influences. And according to the astrological records I looked at, the last time Neptune was in the sign of Aries was approximately 1861 to 1875. Oh, dearie dear, 1861. Yes, this period coincided with the American Civil War, for instance. That's not fun. This major conflict within the United States, which I'm sure many of my listeners are familiar with, reflected the intense transformative energy of Neptune and Aries. It's like I said, Neptune takes time for its energy to take shape here in humanity, but Neptune in Aries is pretty fast. It's pretty fast, really, because Aries is the sign of new beginnings, of springtime. It is the sign of the spring equinox. So even sluggish Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, can be abrupt in Aries. And this era also saw advancements and changes in various aspects of society, which included the rise of spiritualism, which I touched on earlier, the belief system which centered on the belief in a spirit realm and that spirits of the dead could communicate with the living through mediums. All right, so, oh boy, guys, this is shaping up to be a very exciting year, 2025. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the Aries new moon solar eclipse horoscopes. All right, so Aries, this is going to be an exciting next few weeks to 6 months for you. Definitely this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your first house of yourself, how you approach life, your personal health and sense of energy. So this is giving you this electric boost of energy there. New beginnings all around are likely. And with the Mars and Saturn trine, you are getting this support of good vibes from your home, your private life, as well as from your spiritual life or whatever that might represent for you. The part of your life that you do because it makes you feel connected to something bigger. Those two areas of your life are likely going extremely well. You could be receiving some form of emotional healing, could be like old karmic or emotional debts are being repaid in some way. And yeah, that trine energy from Saturn in Pisces and Mars in Cancer offers you support from, your spiritual practices, your sense of connection to something bigger, and keeping a robust and healthy home and private life, connections with your family, time to rest and recharge your batteries. So even though this is a very exciting period for you, Aries, where you're probably encountering a lot of fun new opportunities to move on to bigger and better things, you got to keep that work-life balance in mind, and you got to make sure that you are taking time to rest, recharge yourself, as well as to give and to be productive. Okay, so your tarot reading for this new moon, we've got the Knight of Pentacles coming in for you with this new moon in Aries energy. And the Knight of Pentacles is promising that you will have plenty of work to do. You'll have lots of things to keep you busy. The direction that your life appears to be taking right now, that is with lots of opportunities to be productive and to advance yourself and to improve your material circumstances, those are likely to continue for quite some time. You are going to be an in-demand person. You're going to be someone who's looked to for reliability and resourcefulness. And the advice for you with this new moon is the sun. Okay, so the sun is telling you that, hey, it's good times. Enjoy it. Enjoy your moment in the sun. Make full use of it. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to step up and take ownership of the good work that you've done and to, brag on yourself a bit, promote yourself a little bit. You have a right to it right now, Aries. You've done great. And also to start turning your attention toward the year ahead. What goals and ambitions do you have that you want to see done between now, March 2025, April 2025, and March, April of 2026? It's time to start looking to your year ahead, Aries, and good luck to you, and you will have plenty of good luck. Okay, Taurus, you have this new moon in Aries solar eclipse happening in your 12th house, your secret self, your subconscious, your mental health, your secret matters or your private matters, as well as your spirituality and your connection to the divine. So this is going to be an exciting next few weeks to few months for you in discovering your own sense of wellness, of private personal well-being, your sense of connection to divinity, to a higher purpose, or to something bigger than yourself. And you've got this beautiful supportive energy coming from Mars in Cancer in your third house of communication and networking, and Saturn in your 11th house of your public persona and your social relationships, where you belong in the wider social network of the community. And this is basically telling you that if you take advantage of the connections that you've made, if you do the networking, you're going to affect the change that you are wanting to see over the next few weeks in your life. So you are definitely blessed in your friends and in your social resources for the next few weeks. And your tarot reading for this month, Taurus, is Temperance. That is what is coming for you. And Temperance is balance, relief. Okay, so if you've been dealing with stressful times lately, Taurus, that's about to come to an end. You're about to achieve a new level of balance and stability in your life overall. And also, things are just going to start coming together for you more. You're going to start to see how the situations in your life really work and how you can work with them much more easily over the next few weeks. So Temperance is a sign to you, Taurus, that the stress is about to ease in your life and that you're about to go into much calmer, more stable times. And the advice for you, Taurus, is the Queen of Cups. This season is going to be about focusing on your emotional well-being, on the quality of your relationships, on your overall level of happiness and contentment with your life, and what changes you can make in your day-to-day life, in your weekly routines, in order to fill your own cup more, in order to replenish yourself, recharge your batteries, and get that emotional satisfaction that you need out of life so that you can be your best. Okay, Taurus? All right. So Gemini, you have this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse happening in your 11th house of clubs, collective endeavors, friendships, your social persona, and your social networks. So you could expect some big changes or dynamic shifts into your sense of how you fit into the collective, into your community at large, or to your sense of public image or public reputation. And if you take advantage of it, you will get support from Saturn in Pisces in your 10th house and Mars in Cancer in your 2nd house. So there's a real opportunity here to advance yourself, to move yourself further along in your career or in your life calling, your sense of destiny, those 10th house affairs. You could also really, do something to improve your public persona, your public reputation, your career reputation. And you could see some real benefits coming from your hard work in areas related to your material possession, your income, your personal wealth, your sense of self-worth, and your personal values in the 2nd house there. And your tarot reading, Gemini, for this new moon period is the Chariot. That is what is coming for you. And that is a beautiful card, which says that if you've been stuck in a rut lately, if you just felt low energy, unmotivated, that's about to change with this new moon energy. The Chariot is bold, brave, ambitious. The Chariot is that energy about getting out there in the world and working our will, making moves, seizing the day. That is the Chariot energy. So that is the new energy that is coming in with this new moon solar eclipse for you, Gemini. And the advice for you is the Ace of Pentacles. That's how you can make the most of this new moon season. And the Ace of Pentacles is all about those material blessings, money, good luck, job opportunities, business opportunities. So take advantage of the opportunities and the blessings that come your way over the next few weeks. Try to make the most out of what you have. Be resourceful, Gemini. All right, so we've got Cancer next. And Cancer, this new moon solar eclipse is happening in your 10th house, and that's the career house, the house of your sense of life calling, the legacy, the life that you wish to build for yourself. Okay, so there's some changes and shifts happening in that world for you. This could be in your career, your profession, and as well with your personal goals and ambitions. And you are receiving support from this harmonious trine of Saturn in Pisces in your ninth house, of higher education, belief systems, religion and spirituality, as well as foreign affairs and long distance travel, combined with Mars in Cancer, which is, of course, your sign, the first house. So Mars in your first house is giving you that extra ambition, that sense of motivation, that drive, that extra energy and vitality required to get things done, Cancer. So if you take advantage of that harmonious trine between Saturn and Mars over the next few weeks, you can definitely see some major shifts and positive changes involving your career, your life path, as well as your public image and reputation. All right, so Cancer, we have got your tarot reading here with the Page of Wands. That is what this new moon energy is bringing you. So you are about to start something big and new in your life. You are about to be a beginner. It's something fresh and exciting. Okay, so this could be going back to school. This could be going into some new form of training or job development, professional development. This could be taking on a new career, a new professional role of some kind, not necessarily a job change, but rather like learning new responsibilities and skills. Okay, so the Page of Wands is the learner. That is you. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't be afraid of saying that you don't know something and you're going to need to look into that and get back to this later on. It's okay to be new at something. Everything's hard until it's easy, Cancer. So with the Page of Wands, it's more about spirit than about perfection. Okay, so if you have good intentions, if you really are trying your best, you can't go too wrong. Okay, so have faith, have some patience with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Okay. And enjoy those fresh new beginnings, those new opportunities to be something or someone else coming your way, okay? And the Fool doubles down on this message, okay? The Fool is not a bad card. The Fool is telling you that there are profound changes to your life story on the way, and these are in upright position, so these are good changes. Even if they're uncomfortable at first, these shifts will open the way for new growth in your life if you allow it. So be open-minded. That's what the Fool is about. Don't be too rigid. Don't be too self-censoring or self-critical, okay? Because that steals the experience and the education of the experience from you. Try to relax. Try to go with the flow more. Try to find your own groove in these new roles that you will be playing in the coming months. Okay, Cancer? So Leo, this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse is happening in your ninth house. That's your life philosophy, your belief system, your religion if you have one, your sense of structured spirituality, and it also involves long distance travels and foreign matters. Okay, so you could see some big changes or big news coming from those areas of your life. And you will be experiencing support, help, as it were, from Mars in Cancer in your 12th house. That's your mental health secrets house. So that's your sense of connection to the divine, your spiritual connection, your private life, your secrets, and also your mental health. So investments that you've made in the past in personal growth and self-healing and spiritual connection could really start to bear out their rewards now. And you've also got support coming unexpectedly from your 8th house with Saturn in Pisces, Leo. So Saturn is offering you an extra dose of stability and support from those 8th house affairs involving shared resources, shared money. So like your loans, your debts that other people owe you, taxes, inheritances, money that you share with a spouse or with other partners that you have. You could be seeing some unexpected, long-awaited benefits coming from that area. And also the 8th house rules the darker aspects of our life. So the more traumatic and transformative experiences that you've undergone recently could start to produce some unexpected rewards over the next few weeks to 6 months. Okay, so Leo, your tarot reading for this new moon solar eclipse, 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so there is going to be work for you to do. You are going to be busy with this new moon. You could feel a bit overwhelmed by the volume of tasks that you are confronted with, but take heart because your hard work is being noticed. You are in the process of achieving some form of mastery, some kind of recognition for all of the hard work that you put in and the skills that you've learned, Leo. And the advice for you is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is a season about honoring all of the effort that you've put in, the hard work that you've put into building the life that you want, and knowing your worth. So upgrading your sense of self and self-respect to align with all of the trial and hardship that you've been through, Leo, as well as, working that in a practical sense. So naming your price. That can also be seen here, that there's an attention that you need to pay more attention to how much you value and respect yourself, as well as what you accept from others transactionally in exchange. Okay. Like you might have to recalibrate your boundaries so that others around you appreciate you properly, if that makes sense. Okay, Leo. And also the Queen of Pentacles is about knowing what you have and how to use it. Okay, so gaining mastery over self-discipline, over budgeting, over managing your resources and your money. That's another theme of this new moon in Aries for you, Leo. Virgo. We've got this new moon in Aries and the solar eclipse hitting your 8th house. Okay, so this could be a tricky new moon for you, for sure, because the 8th house it's our shared resources. So we could look at that from a material sense of it's our shared money, inheritance taxes, debts that other people owe us, as well as the loans that we have out. It's the money that we share with partners, such as our spouses. And the 8th house also rules more transformative and often traumatic experiences in our lives, such as death. Okay, so this new moon eclipse could be bringing some really dynamic shifts for you, some really transformative overall experiences for you as a person. Or, it could be as simple as you finally pay off a debt, or somebody unexpectedly pays you back something that they owe you. All right, so we've got Saturn and Mars forming a trine for you in your 7th and 11th houses. These are relationship houses. The 7th house is our partnerships. So that includes, of course, romantic partnerships, marriage partnerships, as well as business partnerships and one-on-one client-based relationships, one-on-one business partnerships. And this can also be our close one-on-one friendships as well. Now, the 11th house is bigger. The 11th house is about our social image, our persona, how we fit into the bigger community around us, our tribe, our reputation at large, our internet use, now in modern times as well. So even though you could be in for a challenging few weeks to 6 months, Virgo, you are receiving support from not only your close contacts, your immediate partners and friends, but the 11th house is also kind of the, guardian angel house as well. So there is this larger story of luck and providence coming through for you in your story right now, Virgo. So even though it might look tough, there will be some unexpected strokes of good luck and some help from friendly allies, most likely coming your way. And your tarot reading for this month, for this new moon, is the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so once again, Ace of Pentacles is about earthly blessings. So even though you might be in uncertain times, there will be silver linings to all these clouds. There will be moments of unexpected grace from the universe where you are offered the way to get where you need to go. Okay, there's more than one way to the top of the mountain, always, right? So you will be given help, opportunities to advance yourself or to make progress in your journey, even though you might face some pretty intense challenges this month. And the advice for you, Virgo, and how to make the most out of this new moon solar eclipse energy is the Seven of Swords. Okay, so don't be hasty. Don't be impulsive. Don't be quick to take action. Now's just not the time for it. Now is the time to move slowly and observe. Watch the environment around you and how it works. And more importantly, watch the other people around you and what makes them tick. Because, you can tackle your problems head on, spend a lot of energy that way, or you can outsmart problems and conflicts, right? Okay, so Libra. We've got this new moon solar eclipse happening in your 7th house of partnerships, one-on-one relationships. And this can include like business relationships, client relationships, and close friendships as well. So this new moon period is going to be a time of dynamic shifts and changes in your areas of partnership in your life. But you're receiving support from Saturn in Pisces in your 6th house and Mars in Cancer in your 10th house. Okay, so the 6th house, Saturn is going to bring you extra energy and vitality, good health, the strength and fortitude that you need to take on challenges that your relationships might bring you in the coming weeks. And also, there's going to be added oomph and pluck, energy, ambition and drive added to your 10th house of career, your professional life, as well as your sense of life calling. Okay, so like your goals and your ambitions could become a lot easier for you to achieve over the next few weeks if you lean into that 6th house energy. So, take good care of your daily routines, your day-to-day physical health, and you could be in for some major good fortune and advancement as it relates to your sense of destiny and calling right now. Okay, so your tarot reading for this new moon eclipse is the 10 of Pentacles, right? So that's some really good energy. It's abundance. It's about wealth. Your financial situation could see a real positive turnaround over the next few weeks, or you could just start coming into a space where you're realizing that you have built real lasting stability around you. So not so much being rich as being comfortable. That's what this new moon is going to bring to you. So, take advantage of that. Not only is that highly indicative that you're going to see some financial or material good luck, some of you might even receive an inheritance or some sort of big, financial or material windfall over the next few weeks. But more than anything, think about building that lasting sense of comfort and security in your life. All right. And the advice for you, Libra, for the next few weeks is the 5 of Cups. Okay. So things will go a lot easier for you if you try to focus your attention on the things that are going well. If you try to observe gratitude every day, try to counterbalance the worrying and the complaining and, the things that all of us do on a day-to-day basis. Let's be honest. We tend, as human beings, we have the unfortunate habit of focusing on what isn't going right, on what isn't working, on what's negative, and we can kind of miss the goodness that way, don't we? Well, you will be greatly benefited, Libra, if you take the opposite approach. You try to look for reasons to be grateful every day. A grateful heart is a magnet for more blessings, all right? And also, 5 of Cups says, it's time to let some things go. It's time. You're a different person now. Maybe there are some things that are still haunting you emotionally or quite practically. They can be removed now somehow. They can be released. You can cut the cords, finally. Look for ways to do that. Turn your intentions towards truly releasing and letting go of the unpleasantness in your past that is still holding you back, whether that's resentment for people from your past, toxic relationships or toxic people you might have been unfortunate to experience, or blemishes or things that you're not proud of from your past. It's time to step into the fact that you have grown and you have changed, and now you deserve a life that is in alignment with who you truly are on a spiritual level. Okay, Libra. So, Scorpio. This new moon solar eclipse is happening in your 6th house. That is your house of physical health, of service, the work that you do, your day-to-day job life, not strictly your profession or your career, but what you tend to do on the job. And it's also your house of day-to-day routines. Like, how do you take care of yourself in your life? So you could see some dynamic shifts, Scorpio, coming to that world of how do you structure your day-to-day routines? What kind of day-to-day work and service are you giving in the world? So you could see job changes. You could see advancements or changes to your career path as a result. And for some of you, this could be a turnaround of health. Okay, so keep that in mind. And you are receiving support, however, from the 5th and the 9th house in your chart. So the 5th house, Saturn in Pisces, is offering you support through your sense of self-expression, through your world of self-expression, whether that's your artistic creative pursuits, whether that's your investments, your business, entrepreneurial pursuits, or it could be from your children, from your literal creations, right? So you'll be receiving all this love and support and stabilizing energy from that 5th house, okay? And then from the 9th house with Mars, you'll be receiving motivation and energy in your life philosophy, your worldview, your belief system, your structured spirituality, if you have one. This could include religious support or energy for your spiritual endeavors. And also, the 9th house rules foreign affairs and travel. So long distance connections, relatives, they could be coming in to support you as well. So Scorpio, your tarot reading for this new moon, this new moon is bringing the 4 of Swords. Okay, so for you, this new moon period, the next few weeks to the next few months, this is going to be all about recuperation, resting, recharging your batteries, healing on a deep level. Okay, so this could be deep physical healing from some sort of a health event, or this could be healing on an emotional and psychic level for you. Okay, but it's going to do you a lot of good, Scorpio. But the important message here is take advantage of that opportunity to rest and recharge yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. It's not hustle time, okay? And the advice for you, Scorpio, is the Ace of Cups. All right, so the Ace of Cups is offering you beautiful emotional experiences over the coming weeks. It's offering you chances for emotional satisfaction, for spiritual sustenance, to rediscover your connection with divinity. You've got to seize these opportunities, though. You've got to open yourself to them and you've got to seek them out, but they are there for you. If you've been looking for a sign spiritually, if you've been looking for emotional satisfaction, for connection with others, it is out there. Keep looking, okay? So Sagittarius, we've got this new moon and solar eclipse in Aries hitting your 5th house. Okay, so this could be a really fun season for you, Sagittarius, because this new moon is going to bring some dynamic shifts and changes to your world of romance. So like your dating life, all of that. Fun times, play, entertainment. This could be the beginning of a season where you really are just having a ball. And it also brings positive shifts and changes to your self-expression, creative pursuits, artistic pursuits, your businesses, investments, entrepreneurial pursuits, as well as to your relationship with your actual creations, your children, if you have any. So you could be seeing some exciting news and developments with your young people, if that applies to you as well. And you are getting harmonious trine energy support from Saturn and Pisces in your fourth house and Mars and Cancer in your eighth house. So, you could be seeing support coming from your home life, from your private life, like you could be seeing a turnaround in the situation there with your family, with those who live with you in your home. Those relationships could be improving dramatically. You could also see things like perhaps you pay off some debts, you do something major to improve your financial situation, or maybe you get some kind of a payback on an old debt yourself. This could include something like an inheritance or like unclaimed funds being returned to you or something of that nature. So you've definitely got some support coming your way as well when it comes to like your shared resources, the money that you manage and work with alongside other people. This can look like your debts and your loans, as well as business money or money that you share in a marriage. Okay, so Sagittarius, your tarot reading this month is the Seven of Swords. All right, so you got to be watchful even while you're out there enjoying that fifth house energy and having fun, getting romantic, all of that. You got to watch out for sneaky people, for untrustworthy people or untrustworthy situations. You know, if it looks suspicious, it probably is this month. So, don't wear out those rose-colored glasses. You know, try not to see the best in everything. Try not to give every little thing the benefit of the doubt, Sagittarius, because right now is a period where perhaps you could get misled. You could get deceived by somebody. And also, another message with this, Sagittarius, is that whenever you encounter challenges and setbacks and conflicts this month, don't be quick to attack them head on. You know, don't fall for that retrograde energy in Aries and jump right into the fight. Sit back and observe. Listen more than you speak. Let people talk themselves into a pit. Let sneaky people outsmart themselves, but you've got to stay quiet and let them do what they do in order to do that, which that requires some self-discipline and some patience on your part. But instead of tackling your problems and troublesome people head on, think about ways that you can outsmart them from behind the curtain. Save your energy. All right, Capricorn. We've got this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse happening in your fourth house. So expect some changes and some shifts in your home life, your private life, your life with your family, the people who live with you, direct emotional connections. But there is support coming for you from Saturn in Pisces in your third house of community and communications, day-to-day communications, that is, and your day-to-day movements and routines, as well as Mars and Cancer in your seventh house of important one-on-one partnership relationships, okay? So, you could be receiving some help and support coming from your neighborhood, from your community, some of you from your siblings, some of you from your business partners, perhaps even clients, or your close personal friends. Those people will be of significance to you over the next few weeks. And you could find that some important opportunities to improve yourself come from these sources, okay? So your tarot reading, Capricorn, for this Aries new moon is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is telling you that this season is going to be mostly about aligning the reality of your life, with your true spiritual vision for your future. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is all about reconnecting with our connection to the divine, our individual relationship with God. She's about fully investing ourselves in the close personal relationships in our lives that really matter. And that's going to be the theme for you over the next few weeks or months, Capricorn, is that you're going to be reevaluating and fully acknowledging for yourself how you find emotional connection with the people that you love, and also how emotionally satisfied you are with your life currently and the direction that it's going. Is your day-to-day reality aligned with your own true sense of spiritual connection and higher purpose? Okay, Capricorn. So the advice for you is beautiful. It's the star. Okay. So first of all, be not afraid. You are being guided. You are being protected. There are spirits that watch over you and love you unconditionally, and they want to see you realize your highest spiritual potential in this life. That's what they want for you. So be on the lookout for your own guiding star. Believe. Set high hopes for yourself, set big goals, and don't beat yourself down and discourage yourself with trying to figure out all the little details and steps in the process right here and now, because that's not how it works. And deep down, you know that. Deep down, you know that you've got to set your course. You've got to set your heart on what is true for you, and then work with the world along your way. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. But you do need to figure out where your sense of passion, where your vocation, your calling really is, and then set your heart in that way. And the star promises that angels and spirit guides are going to work for you behind the scenes to help get you where you need to go. And you don't have to have all the answers and all the solutions right now. They'll come whenever you need them. Okay? Aquarius, we have got this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse happening in your third house of communications, how you communicate, what you're communicating, and who you're communicating with, and also your day-to-day habits, routines, your community, your neighborhood, and how you fit into that local community and neighborhood. All right, so you can expect some big shifts and changes there. You could find that it's time to change your day-to-day routines or your communication style or your everyday surroundings. It could be time for a change of scenery, change of job. It could be time for some self-development work, some work on your communication skills or on emotional intelligence. Or it could be that you're finding a new home in those worlds. You're finding a new role and position for yourself there. And you are receiving support from Saturn in Pisces in your second house and Mars in Cancer in your sixth house. So this is a combination offering new energy and drive, motivation to your day-to-day routines, to your sense of physical health, and also your desire to do work, to do service for others, combined with some added strength and security in your personal finances, your personal possessions and income, as well as your sense of self, your sense of self-worth and self-respect. So this could be a particularly abundant time for you. This could be bringing some real material wealth and good fortune in your direction. So that's really exciting, Aquarius. And your tarot reading for this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse, it's bringing the Nine of Wands to your world. Okay, so Nine of Wands suggests that for most of you Aquarians out there listening, it's been a tough season this last winter or so. You've been put through it. There's been a lot of struggles and hardships, a lot of adversity that you've had to face. And at this point in it all, I'm going to bet you're really tired. You're exhausted. You're ready for this conflict, this struggle, or this hardship in your life to end. And the good news is you're at the end of it. This is the home stretch. This is it. Hold on a little longer. Stay strong just a little longer. Stick with it just a little bit longer. The conflict, the hardship, the struggle, it's almost over. And on the other side of it, whenever you overcome whatever this is in your life, you're going to get the rewards and the recognition that you deserve, but only if you stick with it. Don't give up now. Don't sit down now. Okay? The Page of Swords is the advice for you. Aquarius, yeah, you might have to be courageous in telling the truth here soon. You might have to show up with the receipts. You might have to be the person that brings the record up and calls out dishonesty or ignorance. You might have to put yourself in that position. But as with the Nine of Wands previously, by enduring the struggle and the hardship, you will get the respect and the acclaim that you deserve from doing so. Okay, so now is the time to be brave, to look for the truth, and not be afraid to speak the truth, even in the face of adversity or harsh criticism. Okay, so Pisces, we've got this new moon in Aries and solar eclipse happening in your second house. The second house is your personal wealth, your material possessions, your income, your financial resources, as well as your sense of self-worth and self-respect. So you could be going through some big changes and transitions where it comes to your personal resources, what you have available to you. More than likely, for most of you, this is going to be positive. You're going to see that your world opens up a bit more, that you have more resources to use to improve your life and advance your circumstances. And you can also find yourself in a new season where you've achieved a new sense of self-respect and self-worth for yourself. Congratulations, Pisces. You've earned it. So you are receiving support from good old taskmaster, karmic master Saturn in your first house. Okay, so Saturn in the first house is bringing you the long-lasting rewards of having put in that work, persevered in the face of adversity. You have put yourself out there, you've been tested in the fire, and you've come out of it on the other side. And now you know your personal value, Pisces. You know what your skills are. You know what your shortcomings are. You know who you are. Take advantage of that. That is the greatest strength of all. And you've got Mars in Cancer in your fifth house, adding some extra motivation, some vitality, some good energy to your pleasure pursuits. That is romance, artistic expression, artistic creation, your business pursuits, and your investments, as well as your relationship with your actual children, if you have any. So this is a time of seeing the fruit of all of the hard work and the trials and hardships that you have been put through in the recent past, of getting those rewards, of getting the acclaim and the acknowledgement and the honors that are due to you, Pisces. And the tarot card for you for this new moon and solar eclipse is the Three of Pentacles. And once again, that is a card that denotes that you've put in the hard work. You've fixed your finances, or you've obtained the degree, or you have shown yourself to be a skilled professional. You've done it. You've been watched. You've been noticed. You are being admired from a distance, even if you're not aware of it yet. And you have built real lasting goodness and wealth around yourself, whether that's financial, material, property, whatnot, or whether that's just that, you've made the most of your experiences lately. You've conducted yourself well. You've handled yourself well. You've been responsible. And overall, in the coming months, the Three of Pentacles says that you are going to get the recognition and the honors that you deserve for the hard work and responsibility that you've demonstrated. And you're going to get the rewards from it. You're going to get the benefits that come from having invested your energy wisely in the past. Okay. And the Ace of Cups says, continue to nurture your inner world. Continue to take good care of yourself and your overall emotional and psychological well-being. Take good care of your private life, of your home. Make sure that you've got a comfortable and secure home base to go back to, because this season is about receiving the benefits and the rewards of your past hard work, but it's also about getting yourself back in alignment with what happiness and contentment and satisfaction and success and all those things mean for you individually, because you have your own individual definition of these things, of course, and it won't be the same as mine or the same as Gary's or the same as Hannah's, right? We all have our own unique definition. So you need to get back in alignment with that. You need to clearly define it. You need to, of course, appreciate all the progress and amazing things that you've done and be grateful for those experiences, but also set your intentions and define for yourself what happy looks like for you, what content and emotionally satisfied looks like for you, and set goals accordingly. Okay, so and of course, it's a no small thing as well. Remember, over the next few months, Pisces, to make time to fill your own cup, Ace of Cups, to make time strictly for happiness and pleasure and enjoying the fruits of your hard work, because that's what makes it all worth it, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this deep dive into the astrology of the end of March 2025 and the new moon in Aries with the solar eclipse. I hope that you enjoyed your horoscopes and tarot readings, and I will catch you soon. Big shout out and thank you again to the Eye Opener Society. Your support means the world to me. And as always, thank you, beautiful souls, for sharing this space with me wherever you are. And I wish you abundant new moon blessings. Bye-bye.